are about to see is a learning experience recorded at Tembelishile Primary in Etwatwa near Benoni, Gauteng. The learners at this school come from an extremely disadvantaged community who live in the informal settlements in the surrounding area. What you will see will show you a full day of teaching, edited in a way that will illustrate the overall plan of the learning experience. While watching this video, you should look for the kind of learning opportunities that have been created by the educator. Our educator, Denise Pillay, began the lesson by calling the learners into a group in the front of the class.
Remember yesterday I asked you to bring fruits? Fruit? Who brought the fruit? What did you bring?
Pear.
A pear.
In this first part of the learning experience, Denise used the subject of fruit to encourage
You
discussion.
know what I have underneath here?
By asking questions, Denise was able to get the children to explore the subject on different levels.
Right, this is a banana. Now who's going to tell me the Zulu word for banana?
The learners were asked to identify the different fruit in both English and Zulu.
Banana. And do you know what fruit this is? Have you ever seen this fruit, Cecilia?
Potato.
No, my darling, this is not a potato, and that's why teacher brought it today. If you
Denise began with fruits that were known to the children before introducing the unknown.
we call it a kiwi fruit.
Kiwi fruit.
What does it have, Debbie?
Black.
Yes, it's black, but what are they?
The kiwi fruit was used as an opportunity to explore something new for the learners.
Imbumbula? What is imbumbula? Good girl, very good. They are little seeds. Now I've got this big fruit because this one is very, very small and this one is big. What's the opposite of small?
The discussion allowed the learners to describe and compare the different fruits, observing and verbalizing what they perceived as different.
What is this? But you told me this was an apple. Lucky, what is the difference?
Color.
Good. Now,
By getting the learners to close their eyes and taste the fruit, Denise made it possible for the learners to use another of their senses to identify different fruit.
and what are you eating?
Banana.
At the same time, they were able to associate this experience with knowledge they already had.
All of them got it right.
The second part of the discussion invited the learners to consider the products that we get from fruit.
Orange juice from. Okay, we squeeze it and we get orange juice. This is jam. There's fruit in the jam. Now, who said this was jam? Look what's inside. Look what's inside. There's fruit inside. Orange. What sound does it start with?
Next, the learners were asked to find and make the initial sounds of the names of the fruit they had spoken about.
Pineapple. Which other fruit has the same sound as pineapple? Good girl. Now,
When the learners had returned to their places, Denise asked them to reflect back on a previous lesson.
vowels. Do you remember we did vowels? Do you remember the vowels? A. Good boy. A. Let's see who else is going to give me a vowel.
I.
Good girl. Okay, what word is this? Good. And we had
Denise then related the information they had learnt in the previous lesson to this day's subject of fruit.
today, because we are doing fruit, we are going to put the fruit underneath the vowel sounds. Elvis, give me a fruit that starts with the vowel A. Now, what vowel does apple start with? Good. So we have Very good. Now give me the fruit that does not start with the vowel. Sophie. Okay, that's a word that starts with the vowel. I want a fruit, Sophie, lalela. I want a fruit that does not start with the vowel. Good girl.
The learners were asked to identify fruit that began with a vowel, as well as fruit that did not begin with a vowel, before Denise moved on to the next part of her lesson.
These two. What is this?
N.
Good girl. This is? And what is this? Sipati.
A.
Now, do you remember our rules? Where does N go?
This activity was to use a or an correctly in front of a word.
Goes in front of a word that starts with a vowel. Now, Pikiwe, you go and show me where you're going to put this word in front of banana, apple, orange, or pawpaw. Here on the board, darling. Okay, this is the picture of the apple, so you can say an apple. What can we say?
An apple.
But if you want to put it on the board, where's the word apple? Right, put it in front, show the class. Good girl. Funda?
An apple.
Right, come Temba. Right, you show me in front of which word it's going to go. Good boy. Right, this Temba says that it goes in front of Popo. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right, Funda?
Denise's classroom is arranged so that the learners are seated in groups around the tables. Each group was given a different task relating to what had been discussed
See
previously.
if it starts with a vowel.
This group was presented with two different tasks. First, they had to complete sentences using a or an. Next, they had to fill in a missing word that described a fruit, such as a juicy apple. Denise had read the sentences and words with the learners before they began the task.
Now what you're going to do today is you're going to talk about a picture.
This group used a picture of a fruit stall to stimulate discussion. Denise told them she would return to find out what they had decided the picture was about. This group was presented with a number and word problem.
Look for number 7. Look for number 7. Right, what letter is it? E. Good. Write it down. Write it down. Quickly. What sound is that? Good. Right here.
By finding the letter associated with the number, the learners would be able to make a whole word.
Here are the words. Let's all look at our words. Grapes, good. The next one.
Another group was asked to connect words with the correct picture.
Now, draw a line to the picture.
When they had drawn a line from the word to the correct picture, they were asked to color in the pictures. Each group is expected to work together and help each other to reach the answers. But when a learner or a whole group is experiencing difficulty with a task, Denise often uses another learner to assist.
Stress. Began number 14. Uthatha la phezulu isiyofaka. Faka la.
Denise moved from group to group, monitoring the learners' progress, and returned as promised to the discussion group to hear what they had spoken about.
Can I ask you to get up and talk for us?
Selasat and then
At Tembelishle Primary, most learners speak Zulu as their home language. Denise is not fluent in Zulu, but she overcomes that challenge with the assistance of a parent of one of the learners, or with the help of the learners themselves. Questions about what was happening in the picture, the relationships of people in the picture, what they were doing and why, helped the children articulate their thoughts.
No, this man, I lost the man. That's why
He doesn't know what to do, so that's why his hands is there. Okay. And who's he? Good.
After a break, the learners were led on a field trip to a site with which they were very familiar, the local fruit vendor.
Ladies.
This activity allowed Denise to extend her day's learning experience to include numeracy and money management.
Elvis, what do you want to buy?
Orange.
You want to buy an orange. And how much is the orange?
50 cents.
50 cents. Now, how much do I have? 50 cents. Are you going to get any change? No. Okay, you're not going to get any change. So you buy your orange, right? Teresa, come. What do you want to buy? How much is this?
2 rand.
2 rand. Good girl. Now, how many apples can you get for this 2 rand?
I want 1.
No, I know you want 1, but if you have to take 2 rand, 50 cents each apple, how many apples will you get?
4.
Isn't she clever? She will get 4 apples, but you can take your 1 apple and get your change. Buy your 1 apple and get your change. Right, you've got 5 rand, right? How many 1 rands must you take from here to make 5 rand? How many 1 rands? To make 5 rand. Take. 1. Show me how many is in that hand. Let's count it. Count.
1 rand, 2 rand, 3 rand, 4 rand, 5 rand.
And hold this hand out. This is 5 rand, right? And this is 5 rand. Is it the same? Yes, it is the same. Do you all want to buy fruit?
Yes.
Okay.
Back in class, the learners were eager to eat the fruit they had bought. This presented Denise with an opportunity to introduce the subject of cleanliness.
Before we eat food.
My wash hands.
And the Zulu?
The hand-washing activity was carried out with the learner describing each step along the way.
Tingan says that we need soap to wash our hands. So here we have soap. What else? Can we just wash our hands with soap? What else do we need?
Water.
Okay, what's the Zulu word for water? Manzi. Right, now you got manzi, you got soap, wash your hands. Right, good boy. Let me see your hands. They're very clean now. Okay, now what is this called? Good boy. We use a towel. Do we only wash our hands when we want to eat? No. Anna.
A series of pictures prompted the learners to consider other situations which would require them to wash their hands.
Where she's taking it from? Huh? Okay, from the sand. If she's taking it from the sand, what's happening to her hands? It's dirty.
These pictures included working in the garden, playing with animals, and going to the toilet.
If it's dirty and it goes in your mouth, what happens? Gula? Good. You get sick. And now because your hands are
When all the learners had washed their hands and helped themselves to some fruit, Denise moved on to the final part of the lesson, where the learners were asked to reflect on what they had learnt and experienced during the day.
to talk with your friends for a little while, okay? And tell me what you learned new today.
Discussion amongst the group provides second language learners with a chance to share their ideas comfortably and also allows the learners to formulate their thoughts before having to address the whole class.
Sifunde ngo A or N.
Good girl.
One member of each group reported back.
A-O-N. Good. We learned about fruit. Okay, we learned about fruit. Anything else? Okay.
And before the lesson was concluded, Denise told the learners what they would be doing in the following day's learning experience. Now it's your turn.
You lose.
Remembering what we have said about what makes learning possible, in your group, share at least 3 ways in which this learning experience was successful, and 3 ways in which it could be improved.